Hi, this is Dave Mast. Welcome to HolmesCountyTicket.com, driven by Village Motors. We are joined in studio today by West Holmes track coach Rich Patterson. Rich, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, Rich. Everybody, I think, at this point knows exactly how good, especially your girls program is, and the guys are growing. But today we're going to focus a little bit on something a little more specific, and that is the hurdling part of the game. And you are the hurdling coach, so you should be pretty well versed in this.
Yes.
All right. Rich, you guys have had huge success, especially on the girls' side with your hurdlers. You know, Carly has been just amazing.
Yes.
Sierra's been amazing. And now you've got a new youngster coming in, and she's kind of picking it up. Talk a little bit about how you go about teaching the technique of hurdling.
Well, a lot of it has to do with catching the kids early. I caught Carly in junior high, and actually Sierra, I've been working with her since fourth grade. Teaching them, teaching them the form, the proper technique with your lead leg and your trail leg. There's about a 4-phase step I go through with the girls. And I teach the first phase, obviously, until they get that down, then we don't move on to the second phase. Carly and Sierra could both teach you all 4 phases right now.
Mm-hmm.
They are down, and it is so nice to have that. I don't know what I'm going to do when those two graduate. I'm hoping Taylor Urian, the freshman, comes up, is able to take over where they leave off,
Yeah.
and I think she will. But they have become students of hurdling, and that's been the most proud I am of someone when they actually take over and can. I'll even ask them, "What did you do wrong on that one?" and they'll tell me. And they're right every time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice seeing they can coach themselves a little bit now too. That come to the process.
Is there fear that goes into hurdling? I mean, sprinting as hard as you can and jumping across some fairly high obstacles like that. The fear factor has, especially early on, until you
Sure.
become used to it. How do you get past that fear?
Believe it or not, you have to have that first fall. You know, once you fall that first time and you figure out you're not going to die and your bones aren't broken and everything, you have a little couple scrapes. It's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then they get back up and it's a little bit easier for them. But that's really the only thing you can do is to show them. I can show them the scars I've had from hurdling in college and stuff, and the other girls and guys will tell them, "Yep, we've all fell too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It happens."
And there is a lot of technique that goes into this. I mean,
Oh, yes.
being just a fast sprinter obviously is a big deal. But the technique, we talk about the 3-step hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about what that involves and how hard is that to kind of get that down pat?
Well, it can be difficult. The 3-step, basically what we're saying is you take 3 steps between each hurdle, okay? A lot of kids can't do that, especially early on. Even Carly, her freshman year, had a hard time 3-stepping. She 4-stepped most of the time. We finally got that down her sophomore year. Sierra, she was a little bit stronger early on and was able to 3-step, through junior high even. And Taylor's actually starting now. She can 3-step about half the race. But basically, from a 3-step to a 4-step. A 3-step, you only have one lead leg then, because you have 1, 2, 3, same leg will come up over the hurdle. So you have the same lead leg over each hurdle, and it's kind of a little easier because then you have the form one way. Okay, if you 4-step, you alternate legs. So you have a left lead, one hurdle, right lead, the other hurdle, and you've got to switch arms, legs, everything. And a lot of it goes in. The arms are almost as important as the legs when you're talking hurdling, because they help you lean, they help you keep your balance, and if you can keep them inside, they help you sprint through the race also. Because basically, if you ask the girls, they don't jump hurdles. It's a bigger step.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
basically, when you hit the hurdle, your form has to be almost like running. The opposite arm is out. It keeps the lean. You keep your chest over your knees at all times. You don't lean too hard because you'll put too much momentum forward. But that's how you actually get the trail leg around then, and that becomes your first step towards the next hurdle. And that's the most important part, getting that trail leg set up so you can hit that 3-step.
Yeah.
A lot of problems with kids when they start 4-stepping is because they come off the hurdle, they're a little bit off balance, and they drop that trail leg down, and it comes up short, so they have to take an extra step to get to the hurdle. Like I tell the kids, once you get 3-stepping down, you've taken 9 steps out of your race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seems like it was short enough time.
Yes, exactly.
It's hard enough to have to do 2 things in the sprint and the hurdle, but the 300 hurdles really is a gluttonous event, and
Yes.
is that not one of the toughest events in track?
I would say yes, definitely. You have to run 300 as fast as you can and go over hurdles. There's 8 hurdles in the 300 race, and we try to get a stride pattern set up for the kids so they can do so many steps in between, but that's even more difficult than the 3-step when you're talking about that. A lot of kids are at about 15 steps when they start out, or 16, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the problem with the 300s is also once you get to the last part of the race, especially if there's a big headwind like there is at West Holmes in the end, your 15 stride pattern all of a sudden turns to 16, then to 17 because you're tired and the wind's hitting you and everything. You're trying to keep your form as you're going over the hurdles. So that's one of the more difficult things we do. We try to get the first 5 hurdles down. Once we get the first 5 hurdles down, then we can hit the last 3 and they're stronger and hopefully strong enough to finish through the race. But
you know, Carly and Sierra have been so successful last season, both all Ohioans finishing the top 8 down at the state. It's an amazing feat to have 2 kids finish in the top 8. You know, talk a little bit about their work ethic and how does that work ethic carry over to a youngster like Yarian?
Well, I've been so fortunate having those 2 girls hurdling for me the last 4 or 5 years. Excuse me. It's been their work ethic has been nothing short of phenomenal. Like I said, they've taken the hurdles to heart. They've become students of the game. They can watch each other and give each other advice. And actually, with Taylor and some of the guys that are hurdling now, they've been able to help out with them too because they've become such good students of the event. And I'll use hurdling as an example, but I can use it for the whole girls team as far as that. This upperclassmen group we have are just phenomenal, and they've shown great leadership. And and with Carly and Sierra, basically, Taylor came in has never 3-stepped in her life, and we worked on her form a little bit, and she kind of saw Carly and Sierra just jogging through and 3-stepping, and so she kind of got that's not really hard. And the girl said, we had trouble too when we were younger, but this is how we are now. And so she ended up, 3-step 5 hurdles now, which is phenomenal for not being able to 3-step ever 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So and that's comes from just being around those 2 and seeing what can be done and them encouraging her to be better.
Yeah. Great examples from great hardworking kids.
Yes.
That itself is such a big plus for you to have as a coach, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I don't know what I'm going to do next year when all the seniors graduate.
Somebody will step in and do it.
I'm hoping so, because boy, they've spoiled us the last couple of years. They really have.
Yeah.
It's been a great group of kids, and it's I don't know when a group this big will come along again. That's so good.
Well, if you haven't had a chance to get out and see the Knights and Lady Knights run the track, great team, great competition. You've got some great kids doing some pretty wonderful things. Coach, we wish you the best of luck here, and we'll talk to you later down the road on some other different topics in the track realm. So we appreciate you coming in and joining us today.
Great. Thank you for having me in. Appreciate that.
For HolmesCountyTicket.com, I'm Dave Mast. Thanks for joining us.